Season 37, War number 6, and we are up against MIBR. Today my team will be Human Torch, Kitty Pryde and Tigra. I have a lot of new fights this war. I'm taking Path 9 in Section 1, as well as that Kraven, I-Hulk on the root node, Path 5 in Section 2, as well as the mini-bosses there, Gorr on Safeguard, that Galan on Brute Force, as well as that Rintrah boss with Human Torch. A lot of fights that I have never taken before, so this is gonna be an interesting war. Starting up, we have a Nick Fury on the Hazard Shift, Incinerate and Poison node, and I'm taking this fight with Kitty Pryde. Now, Kitty Pryde is a solid option for this fight, because Kitty is Incinerate immune, and she deals with Nick Fury very well. You just have to not hit Nick Fury that much during the poison phase, or you're gonna stack up those poison debuffs. Getting a single poison debuff here and there is not a problem, but if you stack them up, it will hurt. When you get a debuff on you, Nick Fury will gain a big Fury buff, so stacking up more poisons while he has the Fury active will make the debuffs hurt a lot more. So during the poison phase I usually tend to just play time, dash around and not hit him. If he holds his block, I go in and hit him as much as I can, but while I'm unblockable with the Tigra synergy, you really shouldn't do that. Your hits will go through the block if you're unblockable, and you can stack up the poisons. Now you can also use the light attack trick that I've used before on the shed fight. When the opponent dashes back, you can throw a light attack in the air to make the AI just either stand still or walk towards you and do nothing, like so. That's a very easy way to play time whenever you need to, if you need to. And these Hazard Shift fights are a great example of that. Now I'm not using my specials that much because I wanna make sure I can keep phasing while Nick Fury is in his second life. And since he's stun immune in his second life, stacking up those prowesses again would not be as easy. So instead, now my prowess potency has ramped up with the Incinerate debuff triggers Nick Fury has tried so far, making my specials hit a lot harder. So I just go ahead and finish the fight with my special 3. That special 3 dealt 80,000 damage without even ramping it up myself with the special 1 or special 3. So the Incinerate triggers on these nodes is very helpful for ramping up. Now the next fight is an Ebony Maw on the Hazard Shift, Incinerate and Poison. I'm taking this fight with Human Torch. I used the Flame on pre-fight here to make the fight a lot safer. Technically you don't need it here, but if you can have it, you should have it. I'm using a combat regen boost here to offset some of the block damage I'm gonna be taking, just in case. Really, it's not necessary, but if it saves a potion or 2, then it's worth it. The plan here is to just go for medium light combos, like you normally would with Human Torch, and just nuke him down. Now during the poison phase I don't wanna hit him, because I would just stack up poison debuffs on myself and tick down, which isn't really necessary for this fight. I could nuke him down and just ignore the poison, but it is safer to just wait them out. Human Torch against Mystics is just... it's a bit silly. Next up we have a Kraven on the Hazard Shift, Incinerate and Poison shed fight, and I'm taking this fight with Kitty Pryde. I had a teammate go ahead and place a White Magneto pre-fight here to let me stack up my prowesses easier and to give me some extra damage. Now my plan here was to just play this a bit slower, only bait Kraven special 2s And to avoid him from using special ones, I'm either baiting heavies or letting the opponent dash back and then use my unblockable for an opening. But Pryde hits very hard, but Kraven is already down 50% from just 3 combos, so instead of going slow, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw my special 2 and nuke him down. I really wasn't expecting this fight to go this fast, but hey, Pryde is OP. Up next we have a Immortal Hulk on the root node, or Scared Stiff node with power focus 2, and I'm taking this fight with Pryde. Now the plan here is to just play the root node as well as I can and just take Hulk down with basic hits. He is a conduit defender, so I don't really want to use my special 1 or special 3, and I don't want to knock him down. So using the specials here just is not necessary. It's gonna be a longer fight with only basic attacks, but he is gonna go down without any real issues. Dexing both of his specials is very easy to do, so as long as he keeps throwing them, this fight is not really that difficult. The biggest problem here would be if he goes passive, doesn't want to throw specials, and then the root timer ticks over and you get rooted. Even then, as long as you stay calm and just don't panic, you should be fine. You just have to wait out the root. You can dex just fine or just keep parrying Hulk. But yeah, just don't panic and it's fine. Now there is one more thing to be mindful here. Immortal Hulk will trigger his immortality at the very end unless you run the Assassin Mastery. I personally don't use it for offense, so I can't bypass it. Even if you do run it, you do have to get a little bit lucky to prevent the immortality. But whenever you fight Hulk, just assume that it will trigger, and then it won't catch you off guard. The fight took 2.5 minutes, but it is very safe and quite a simple fight. Next up we have a Sauron on the Power Snack and 1 too many hits node, and I'm taking this fight with Pryde. Normally I would use Omega Sentinel here, but I had to bring in Human Torch today, so I can't do that. My other Sauron counter is usually Tigra, but I didn't want to switch my masteries for a single fight here, so I decided to use Pryde instead. Kitty works here just fine, with just basic attacks and avoiding his specials like normal, but something didn't exactly go as planned here. I'm trying to bait out Sauron's special too, but he just isn't throwing it. I'm getting cornered, and if I hit him a single time, he's gonna get to the special 3. Instead of getting cornered, I decide to just risk it and go for my special 2 to nuke him down, and luckily it did. Had I gotten cornered anymore, I wouldn't have been able to phase, and that would not have ended well. Then we have this Longshot on the Ebb Flow intercept node. I'm taking this fight with Pryde as well, and this one is a very simple Longshot fight. I'm building up prowess so that I can use my phasing to get an easy intercept, to remove the protection, and to gain that passive fury from the Ebb Flow node. Longshot himself is not a tanky defender, so as long as you can get that protection off, he goes down pretty quickly. I am having some trouble getting that safe opening here. Whenever I punish his special one, he's at a new one, so I can't exactly just keep phasing all over the place. If that special one hits me when I'm dashing at him, I will face the damage part of that special one, but the last hit will trigger after my phasing ends, and it will hit me. There, when I finally got the protection down, I went ahead and baited a special 2 from Longshot and phased the last hit of it before throwing my special 2. I did that to gain the extra prowess from phasing a hit, so that my special 2 would hit harder. Unfortunately, it didn't finish Longshot, but one more special 3 and that's the fight done. Next up we have a Super-Skrull on Ebb and Flow Intercept and Mighty Charge. I'm taking this fight with Tigra. Now I'm using an advanced power boost here to start with 1 bar of power, and the plan is to bait 2 heavy attacks at the start of the fight, punish them with my heavy, and that is enough power to get me to special 2. However, Super-Skrull didn't want to go for heavy attacks and instead gave me openings for intercepting instead. Now I had removed the protection and got up to my special 2. I decided to throw it. It didn't finish him, but it did give me enough power for another special 2, and that did the job. It didn't go exactly as planned, but still, a Super-Skrull with Tigra. It's a fast fight anyways. Next up we have a Sasquatch on the Ebb and Flow Intercept and a Mighty Charge shared fight, and I'm taking this fight with Pryde. I have taken this fight many times before with Kitty, and the plan here is the exact same as it has been before. I'm gonna play this fight very aggressively and using my phasing as well as the unblockable to get my openings. To deal with his specials, the special 1, I phase the first hit and block the rock. Normally the rock can stun you through your block, but Pryde is stun immune while phasing. So by doing this, you completely avoid the damage on the blocked hit, as well as any chance of you getting stunned. Doing so will also prevent you from having to dex it, meaning that you don't have to worry about Mystic Dispersion. For the special 2, I just dex out of it like normal. I'm not gonna be using any of my own specials until I get Sasquatch lower. He has triggered the Wrath and the protection is down. The rage stacks that Sasquatch has give him damage reduction, so using specials during the Wrath gives you the full damage. So now that Sasquatch is low, he doesn't have the protection and the Wrath is up, so he doesn't have any rage stacks. I went ahead and used my special 3. It wasn't quite enough to finish him, but then a few hits from Sasquatch into my face was enough to finish him off. Next up we have a Gorr on the Safeguard mini-boss node, and I'm taking this fight with Tigra. The plan here is to start the fight like I would against a Super-Skrull or a Hulkling, by baiting a couple heavy attacks with the advanced power boost so that I can use a big special 2 early on. However, Gorr didn't want to use his heavy attacks here, so I just went ahead and used normal combos to get to my special 2 and threw it. The damage is still huge, so I decided to just do that instead. For the special 1, I spam my dash back 4 times and hold my heavy attack to get the right spacing. Before doing this fight, I did some duels to practice that, and that seems to be a consistent way of doing it. I threw a second special 2 and that was enough to finish the fight. A very simple fight for Tigra. Next up we have a Galan on the Brute Force mini-boss node, and I'm taking this fight with Pryde instead of Tigra. Now, when this war started, I figured that I would be able to take this fight with Pryde, and I started doing some duels. I wanted to figure out the absolute best way to do this fight, so it would be safe and also effective. And what I came up with is to dash in and phase in the middle of Galan's special one, to trigger my phasing and then block the last two hits of that special. By blocking them while you are still phased, you take no block damage or any harvest damage when it triggers. So you avoid everything that Galan does, while also not losing your prowess for phasing the special one. Sure, you do lose some damage from the phased hits you would normally have, but since this node has the disorient on your parries, it can limit how many prowesses you can build up and how easily you can do that. So I decided to do this instead. Now, phase blocking with Pryde is extremely useful in many situations, but this is probably the safest and best way to take down Galan as well. Now, to get the timing right, you just look at the animation, and after the first swing, when Galan points his staff to the sky, you dash in, and then you just hold block. That's all there is to it, and it is very useful. I am very happy with how that fight went down, and I do hope that you learned from it. Then for the last fight of the war, I have a Rintrah boss that I'm taking with Human Torch. Now, I used my pre-fight early on against that Ebony Maw, so I had to have a teammate place one here for me. And the funny thing is, I had the pre-fight placed on here by a rank 4 Human Torch, and I'm taking the fight with my rank 3. So yes, the other guy could have taken this fight, but it was assigned to me, so here I am. Now, the game plan here is to do what you normally would do against Rintrah. You have to keep knocking him down so that he doesn't stack up too many of those mystical charges. So to do that, I either bait and punish his heavy attacks or his special one. Both are very easy to punish with your heavy. For his special one, all you have to do is dash as far away from him as you can when he starts the animation, and then when he starts rushing towards you, you dash back once more and then charge up your heavy. And for his heavy attack, all it takes is a single dash back, and then you can throw your own heavy to punish it. This fight is pretty easy and simple with Human Torch, and with most other champions as well. The biggest issue here is just how tanky Rintrah can be. As a rank 4, he has almost 700,000 HP on the boss node, and that combined with the resistances he has himself, as well as those resistance buffs from the adaptive node, he is one of the tankiest champions in the game, for sure. Now, the fight is halfway done here, and yeah, this is basically all there is to it. I just keep repeating the same thing over and over again, and eventually Rintrah will drop. This has been one very long fight, and looking back, maybe this should have been given to the rank 4 Human Torch, but even then, A solo is a solo, and it wasn't even close. We did end up winning the war 10-1. We only died once as the whole alliance. A very good war.